All right, welcome to the morning stream live, free sports picks at 9 a.m. Eastern. Mindy, can you write me a script? I wanted to do an intro. I wanted to have something. I need a catchphrase. I can't just come on like Tony and just say, free sports picks. That's what we do, though, here on the morning stream. Free sports picks Saturday through Thursday, and especially on Sunday, NFL Sunday. Fun day. Mindy, on the site yesterday, there was pretty much Mindy and anybody else that was just I just want to know, a couple people had like a couple winners here and there. You had 14 winners yesterday and hit 67% of a huge card that you put together. Your clients must be stoked.
Right.
14-7. I want to take a look at it, but most of it was you had college and baseball, I assume?
Yeah, I had college and baseball. So I only had a 3-pack of baseball. The rest were all college football. And I've been kind of promoting it most of the week. I'm collecting stats. It's going to get better. So yeah, finally paid off here this weekend.
Well, I'll say I hope you keep it going today.
I know, right?
Let's take a look at some of those games, though, real quick. If you want to talk about any of the college games or any of the college action, I'm all ears. Up over 786 over the last 7 days, and most of it coming. The damage is done within the last 24 hours. Mindy's got packages today in the NFL. I'll ask her about those in just a minute. But let's get down there to these plays.
It was a lot of over-under plays.
Wait a minute. You're doing a lot of totals and winning. Maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong people.
I know you're usually the one hitting all the totals. I always felt like my baseball totals weren't great, but I think I'm getting better every year. But think I've kind of got some of these, narrowed down here for college football. It might be more, spreads as we go forward. As I say, I think Vegas starts to catch up with the cappers a little bit, as we go more in the season. But yeah, so we had a lot of totals, took those big two totals, 72 and 73, went under on those.
We talked about it, right?
They were kind of scary still at the end.
Right.
Teams, still had lots of chances to score.
Yeah, you talk about your percentage at 67%. Those totals over 70 are going under at about 67% over the last 2 years. But funny, we still had plenty of games that went over 70 that weren't lined as high as 70.
Right.
Overs out there.
Toledo Ohio State game really surprised. They put up almost 100. If they didn't make it to 100, I don't remember. But
I thought Ohio State was going to get 100 for a while.
Right. Did a lot of totals. Miami blew it. They left 6 points on the board. We're in the red zone 4 times and just couldn't score there on that one. I feel like kind of hitting my stride here for college football here moving forward. And then my only loss for baseball was the Marlins, and I'm still kind of wondering why I did that.
Well, should have had more college plays, maybe. But look,
that's the thing. It's you can have a lot of college plays, right? I mean, we go through all of the games.
And no disrespect to our fellow handicappers on the site, man. There were a lot of options out there. A lot of people coming in with one pick, but that's fine. If I could pick one game a day and win it, I guess I wouldn't be here with you.
Right. I mean, all of us, if we could all take our best bet and win that one every day, right? No, never a sure thing out there. I think the college football, the parity's going to be getting closer here as we move into conference play as well. So it's going to be fun. But I think, as we talked about this weekend, I think was kind of weed out where we feel everything is. Like we said, is Arizona as good as we think they are? Or is San Diego State maybe just not that good as we think they are? I think it kind of all starts to kind of come into play here over the week as we get into conference play, which will be pretty fun also.
When I look at your premiums, I know that we nailed the Eastern Michigan ASU. I wrote in my write-up as I picked Eastern Michigan plus the points. But, I said, Arizona State probably shouldn't be 3 touchdown favorites against anybody right now. So good selection there. SMU, Maryland, I think we, great pick there also. So real solid results, Mindy, for yesterday, and just comparatively on the leaderboard. Like I said, got some cappers really doing some damage right now. But as far as yesterday was concerned, it was all about the Midwest's premier sports handicapper, Mindy Hunt, 14-7, and yeah, there I am lingering down there at 6-5, and I'm in the green over the last 7 days, but not
Right.
like you. And
Well, you
again,
had that tough loss there with Syracuse, right, where it was 10-9 going into the fourth, and you had the under.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just too busy in my life, and whatever. Maybe I'm not getting the best of the number. That's not good. So I got to do better for my clients. We should be more in the green than we are, especially over the last. I'm trying to get together, but I do love today's card. I hope things work out for us today, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about today's card. But again. As far as I don't think there was anything too crazy out there in college ball today. It wasn't even the best card after it was all said and done.
Well, it's just that, I think a lot of teams, you just see how fast they were. Like you watch Oklahoma, just fast. You watch USC and Fresno, they're both fast. I mean, it's just that, a USC team was just able to dominate size-wise. I mean, that's what I saw yesterday was just how fast teams were in those blowout matches. And that's what it came down to was, to me, a lot of speed out there on the field. You watch Alabama play just fast. I mean, watch Appalachian State, which might be like the most exciting team out there this year, just fast. I mean, there's just a lot of speed out there. It's been a fast moving game so far. Even though I had a lot of under totals, but the under totals was only because of the big blowouts. So it's the one-sided victories where one team is going to score all of the points. And that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, and as we get into conference play, obviously a lot of those there will be one-sided games, certainly still, but not as many. I don't think, not because there aren't as many payday games, right? So Everybody talks about the MAC conference walking away with that. I don't know, what did they, $7.5 million and 4 wins, whatever it was. So pretty good when you can go get paid. Imagine going to the sports book and you have the winning ticket in your hand and they give you more money. So anyways, Mindy, what do you got today? I mean, this is NFL Sunday and you're hot. So why don't you tell us what's going on with packages today before we get rolling on free picks for everybody?
Yeah, so I put out my best bet of the day, so you can take a look at that. Pick that one up, guaranteed for $15. I've been winning my guarantees this week. I think I only missed one out of the last 7, so you can go ahead and catch me on that. And then also I did a 5-pack. I have my 3 best bets of the early slate, and then my 2 best bets there of the late slate. Been looking for a little bit of line movement here. There's a couple I may add. That I didn't quite like where the lines were right now. So those are what I could put in last night. And I was hoping for some public money to come in so I could go opposite.
There are a couple hooks out there right now that are lingering that certainly might be a situation where they might not make premiums for us because of our selection, but maybe something where people might be willing to buy a half a point. I'm a point buyer. I care.
Am too. Always have been.
So, especially when you're around those key numbers.
I tell you, I mean, you're going to push. I mean, if you really keep track of that, I'll push way more than I would than I lose. So I'll play buying that down every time.
And like I said, sometimes you want to just bend your whole amount of your bet around that number so that you can kind of like we talk about the Asian handicap in soccer, right? You might want to sure, you can lay a little 7.5, but why not lay a little 7? Why not lay a little 6.5? Or even another way, put a little on -8 too. Just give yourself a lot of room. Also, get you a little excitement, a little sweat. Also, sometimes when you're going to hit right in the zone. And
you cover it all, yeah.
You could cover it all, and even if you don't, if it's a field goal situation, you've done enough buying, you could still cash a little bit of it back. So don't forget, all of our picks are profit guaranteed, meaning if the package does not turn a profit, you'll be credited with the sum back in your Tony's Picks account. You can use it on any other handicapper or the same capper. No matter what, use it however you want. You can use it towards any future purchase. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all premium pick packages for new subscribers, if you will. So, all right, Mindy, I got some packages as well. Maybe we can just take a look at that before we get rolling. Thanks to everyone that want to hear from you in the chat. We've got comments coming in. Matt is with us again. Thank you, Matt. All right, I want to take a look at my packages for today in the NFL. That's where I'm heading, Mindy, with this big card. Do like some baseball, but we're going to run them down first. I want to get any opinions you might have on it, but let's see what I've got. I know I've got a 5-pack of the morning card, and I've got the profit guarantee on it as well. 5 plays in the early window for 50. That's with the profit guarantee, or three plays in the late window for 50 on the profit guarantee. 5-play card on the early window for $60 profit guarantee. So hook up with me as well, or get a 3-day pass. Get you today, Monday Night Football, and into Tuesday baseball. All right, maybe we should get rolling on our free picks.
All right.
Today. All right, Mindy, let's go down to the free picks, rapid fire rundown.
Yeah, we did pretty good. So hopefully everyone was kind of happy with how we presented yesterday. We went pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to break things down a little bit more, but I don't know. Just seems like there's so many games. I really wanted to do even more with baseball, but we're a little bit more relaxed today, I think. And let's get into the National Football League and start with the Dolphins going against the Ravens, and the Ravens are 3.5. The total 44.5.
Yeah, I mean, so Baltimore won pretty handily last year, 22-10. But then, of course, you have the Ravens here. They're, lost 2 starters at quarterback and at tackle. So, maybe they'll struggle to, slow Tyreek Hill a little bit in this one. Who knows, right? But I just kind of look for the Ravens here to run the ball a little bit more. They've been, really holding, down opponents rushing wise, and also they usually get to the quarterback. I mean, they usually average about 3 to 4 sacks, per game here as well. But, I just think the Dolphins here on offense, they look pretty good to me. It may be a little bit surprising, but they were rolling. They always usually play the Patriots pretty well anyway. But I think Tyreek Hill is going to be able to, break through that secondary. I kind of see him rolling. I think this is going to be a close game throughout. A lot of defensive play. I'm not sure how much the Ravens can score. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm going to try the Dolphins here at plus 3.5 in this one.
Well, we're going to be disagreeing. We don't have a consensus play here, Mindy. But again, I mentioned some of the hooks out there, and this one opened to 4.5, down to 3.5. Money's come in on Miami, and maybe I agree. I mean, that Baltimore's banged up. They've got a bunch of injuries really all over the place. So I don't know. I'm not really happy with Tua right now. I mean, he was complaining about not being able to see receivers this week. I mean, we've all scoffed at that most accurate quarterback in the league comment. I mean, he obviously is all over the yard sometimes, and he's going up against a quarterback right now who really, since 1970, just set a mark for the 5th winningest quarterback in the NFL in Lamar Jackson, hitting 76% straight up of his starts. He with 50 victories. So anybody who's had or 50 games, 38-12, I think it is. Mindy, 76%, right? 38-12 over 50, his first 50. So that's huge. That's huge winning, and this is a team that they pretty much have dominated. Really, you mentioned last year's game, and yeah, they did. Miami put it down in the end. It was 6-3 at the end of 3 quarters, and I'm not so sure it's going to be much different today. I agree with you. I mean, if Baltimore wants to win, they probably should run the ball. Really, I would think.
Yeah.
But can they run it successfully? I kind of like Miami in some areas like that. I think Baltimore could struggle a little bit. So I like them to win the game because Lamar Jackson wins games, especially against Miami. So that's why I'm going with Baltimore. I'll lay 3.5 because this is a free pick. I'd rather lay 3. I should just give it on the money line to be
Right.
to be safe, but this is an NFL free pick show. So I like Baltimore to win the game because Lamar Jackson doesn't lose, and to me, he is still one of the best quarterbacks out there. So yeah, I mean, I worry because Baltimore doesn't bring in any good receivers. Duvernay, he peaked a little bit. Maybe he'll be pretty good. He looked pretty good in that game. He doesn't have high expectations, and Bateman, doesn't do much for me, but seems like he finds a way. And of course, you got to concern yourself with Hill, but is he comfortable yet with Miami? So I'm going to go with Baltimore. You'll go with Miami. Fair enough. We'll start with might not have any picks for our consensus plays.
Right.
If this keeps up. All right. The Jets and the Browns rematch of the first ever Monday Night Football game. Okay, the Browns are favored here by 6.5. Total all the way down to 39.5. I guess I get it, but why is that, Mindy?
I don't know for sure, I guess, right? I don't know. The Jets kind of look like the same old, Jets here as of late. But the Browns, they do have that superb, duo that's sitting back there with Chubb and Hunt. I just think that, with those two running backs, they're just going to be, hard to beat. I think the Jets are going to be able to move the ball a little bit. Kind of like I don't think they can do any worse than a Baker Mayfield out there for Carolina Panthers in this one.
God.
I just think that everything looks a little too low for me. I mean, this one is going to be basically, do we think that the Browns are just going to roll in this one? I think the Jets are going to be able to keep this one close here. I'm going to go over the 39.5 in this one here today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the total was a little bit higher than that when it first came out. When the look-aheads were out, what was it? Maybe even somewhere in the 43. Wow! So this is a big dipper, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Flacco threw the ball 59 times last week.
Right.
I know they only scored 9 points. Excuse me. But will they change a little bit? Will they change that philosophy? I'm not sure they will. Yes, Cleveland will run. They don't look real dynamic though. I kind of like the Jets defensively in a way. I mean, they might have. I mean, Gardner, it might be one. You know how you get one of those guys that can change the game because of the position. These defensive backs, they can change. You get one of these elite guys, and Gardner, I think that the talk is maybe he is one of those elite guys. Now the Jets, I don't think it's ever going to save the Jets, but
Right.
They sure could use something, like that. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I know you're taking the over, and like I said, Flacco's going to, he might be a statue in the pocket, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be chucking the football. I don't think that they're going to abandon that strategy at this point. So I think he will be throwing the ball. But I'll take the Jets. Those are just too many points for me. I think both these teams are bad, and I can't see. I know people want to put Cleveland. We want to put them in a category that they're decent, but I don't think they've shown to us yet that they're decent. I mean, we like the run game. Sometimes we like the defense, but they don't win any huge games at all. And they do have a beatable team here, but I'll take the Jets as the free play. And we'll continue and move on to the Commanders and the Lions. Well, all of a sudden, this is an interesting game, and Detroit's favored. Detroit's favored favorite in a football game? Detroit hasn't been favored in like 23 games.
Oh my
And
gosh.
now they're going to be favored here by 1.5, and the total 48.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Commanders and, Jags, it was kind of one of those, must miss games. They're going to be a low scoring one, but they scored just enough to go over that total there last time. Lions, on the other hand, I was pretty heavy on the Eagles. Thought I had that one in the bag. Suddenly, here comes the Lions with a backdoor cover. So that kind of, surprised me a little bit, there as well. I mean, the Lions are, putting up the numbers. I think this one there is basically going to come down to, can the Lions get to Wentz, and can the Lions run Swift? I mean, I think that is going to be this game's going to be a lot more on what the Lions can do rather than what Washington can do. So I'm going to take the Lions. I'm going to go with a Vegas here. I'm going to keep them as the favorites. I like the Lions here at the -1. They also play pretty well at home, so we'll take them here.
Kevin says maybe that'll be a good. Hey, if you're Kevin, I'm willing to bet the Jets in that game on the run line just for the heck of it. I mean, this is a free pick show after all. Maybe we're gonna have our first consensus here, and I look, I'm scared. I mean, I can't give this out as a premium. I cannot recommend to a paying subscriber to take the Detroit Lions, but I'm gonna do it with you in mind and agree with you here. Look, these hard knocks teams do not cover spreads in the first half. It's just, for some reason, they're overhyped and everything. And look, I don't like Goff, but it should have a decent matchup, I would think here. The Lions receivers, they've got bricks for hands. They can't catch. That's for sure, but I'm still going to take them. Wentz, that nice performance, no doubt about it. It looks like he has some weapons, but come on, now Washington's going to go on the road and win a road game. I don't know. I don't think Washington's any good. They can't go 2-0 by coming off and winning a road game. And the Lions, yeah, you're right. I mean, hey, you know what? Everybody agrees right now. Eagles are pretty good team,
right.
So maybe there's something to this Lions situation with what we know and watching the show and all that. I mean, they're nothing special. We know that, but I'm going to agree with you, Mindy. We've got a consensus, so mark it down.
All right, we got it.
Pick.
Number one consensus.
Our consensus picks. We're going to start selling them here on the site. I think we already have started to. So maybe we'll get our consensus together here and put these plays up before too late. Now, everybody here, just come watch the show every day.
Yeah, then you
won't
get the plays.
You have to get the package. But if you miss it, you could always, instead of fumbling around YouTube, you could just buy the package. All right, Mindy. Hope I made that clear to everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, the Colts are going to take on the Jags, the old nemesis from the Colts. The Colts are 3-point favorites, and the total is 45.5. And the Colts, if the Jaguars could play the Colts every week, they'd go to the Super Bowl every year.
That's right. For whatever reason, Jacksonville just plays those Colts tough, right? I mean, I think, Trevor Lawrence, he was solid last week, even though he wound up losing that game. Still hit at 72% of his passes, which is a lot better than what he normally does. I mean, we talked about that he has just been, struggling with that passer rating and throwing, those timely interceptions, right? I mean, that's kind of been a lot of their downfall. I'm not a Matt Ryan fan here at all, but I think he is able to do enough to be consistent. And I mean, consistent enough that I think the Colts and the Jaguars here are going to be able to score every quarter. And that's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this to be, 24, 21, something like that. I think the edge is going to be to the over in this game. I don't really think there's a lot of pass defense to offer. I know Pittman's out maybe for the Colts. So that might be a little bit of a difference, but I still think both of these teams are very capable of scoring. We know the Colts can do it on the ground, but I know they're going to take advantage of the secondaries in each of these squads. I'm going to take the over 45.5 here.
Mindy, you obviously have some Matt Ryan bias.
I do.
If you were to see him for the first time, though, last week, would you say, hey, this guy's pretty good?
Well, yeah, I mean, he had a good comeback, right? I mean, and that's all you can look for. You can look for consistent play and being able to motivate a team. And I think he's very capable of that. But he doesn't, I mean, I was going to say he doesn't have much for legs, right? But again, he did run for a couple first downs also. So, I mean, I have to give him probably more credit than what I want to. I just think, he's past his prime year. And I don't know if it was the best option for a Colts team that I think is pretty scrappy. That's pretty decent to have a guy like, Matt Ryan at the helm. And that's kind of my bias in that. And I think as we go, I mean, we're all aging, and I think sometimes some of these guys are maybe beyond their prime. And I think he's kind of really getting to that point personally.
Well, we'll see. And if he starts to go up and down, then we will say that. I mean, last week he looked like an MVP candidate, but would you take him over Trevor Lawrence? Or is that just a game-by-game thing?
Well, I mean, Trevor Lawrence last year, yes. Trevor Lawrence hitting at 72%, I'll take Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence in the past, he hasn't even had like a 90 passer rating. I mean, he's just been bad. And I don't know if that had to do with coaching or is it like, Chark is your best, wide receiver? I don't know. It could be a lot to play with that Jaguars team with maybe a Trevor Lawrence that played for a team like the Colts with a nice defense. Maybe that's a different situation. So I mean, today in this one, I'm going to probably give the edge to the Colts, but I mean, in the matchup of quarterbacks, I would give that to Matt Ryan today.
Well, I'm going to agree with you on the total because I think Taylor can run big, and I don't think the Colts, I think even Jacksonville will be able to get something done, and maybe Trevor Lawrence will have one of his better games today. I talked to him. I like ATN. He dropped that ball right there, at 5-yard line or whatever it was. So, maybe he's rusty. Maybe he'll never amount to anything right now. Who knows? We saw before the injury, just that brief NFL appearance, it was, wow, look at this guy, and they got hurt right away. So, maybe he's got to get acclimated still. But I'll go over with you. Let's put that on our consensus report today. I like this one to go over. I think Taylor opens things up for Indy. But again, I think Jacksonville's in there because I don't think they have much defense to stop. And if they always beat the Colts, they must outscore them somehow. So I'll take the over with you, Mindy. Let's go with the over on our consensus. We got 2 in a row.
Heck yeah, we're on a roll.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to talk about teams you struggle with.
Right.
The Saints, they do very, very well against the Buccaneers. So will that continue to be the case today? Buccaneers favored 2.5. This total's dropped all the way to 44.
Yeah, so last year, the Saints swept the series. They won the first one 36-27, the second 9-0. Brady's 2-7 against the spread versus the Saints. And on the other hand, the Saints are 7-1 versus, Tampa Bay at home. Maybe the injuries for the Buccaneers are going to be a little bit concerning here also. I just think this one is going to be, it's going to be close. I think it's just one of those series that it's like notoriously close. So I'm actually going to take the under here in this one. I think both of these teams, there's going to be a lot of defense played. I don't know if with Godwin out, and I'm not quite so convinced on the tight end play with Brait.
Are all the receivers out?
I mean, so basically you kind of have just a Mike Evans and a Mike Evans double team. We know hasn't been very successful in the past. So we'll take a look and see how this one goes. I think they're going to have to rely a lot on the running game again here for the Buccaneers, like they did last week.
I don't like that option at all for Tampa. I think we might be sitting there at the end, and we always say, "Oh, Tom," especially early in the season, "Oh, it's all terrible. Oh, he's doomed." He'll probably come on strong by the end of the year, but I think this matchup is just not a great matchup for him. And I think New Orleans has weapons. I think New Orleans has weapons. Jameis got to just figure out how to get them the ball without,
Turning it over.
Thank you. I just didn't want to, say the T word,
Out
but
loud.
yeah, I mean, just get it to these guys. I mean, they've got,
Talent.
all those unique weapons. They are a good team with good offensive players. Maybe not necessarily in that run game, but in that passing game. I like Olave. I like, of course, Tom. All these guys. So New Orleans can control the game. I think with the defense in this one, they do get to Tom whenever for whatever reason. They get
Right.
to Tom, and we know that New Orleans, that Tampa Bay can, stop anybody's run on most days. So I like under, Mindy. I like under. You know, that total's gone down. I wish it was still higher.
Right.
Like what, 44? But we're gonna have 3 consensus plays in a row here, and I like the under. All right.
All right. We're ready to go. We're rolling today,
Yes.
Ramon.
Yeah, I mean, we usually, I try to give the others out, but in the NFL, I've got some premiums. Mindy's
Right.
got some premiums. So if we end up on the same side, we might have a premium. We might agree. We might disagree, but we're bringing you one free pick. And if I look at it and Mindy's already given, the total or something, and I've got the side as a premium, I got to go with the total. So if I agree with you, we agree. I mean, that's just the way this works.
Exactly.
And I think it's a little different for the NFL because in baseball you got other options too, right? So
Yeah, because we could find a different kind of consensus.
all right, Carolina and the Giants. It looks like an ugly game, but it's a very interesting game. They're all interesting games today. I like this card. The Giants are favored here by 1.5 or so. I see some ones that are juiced a little bit. Total 43.5. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this line is flipped to, if I remember right, from where it was probably last week, something like that. Because suddenly, we see this Giants team playing with a whole bunch of emotion, going for 2, getting their defense in check. But the Giants, they beat the Panthers 25-3 last season. Carolina, they're 3-13. Failed to cover on like their last, 4 there as well. They've also been allowing, about 5.6 yards per carry. So I think that's something that Panthers defense really has to get in check here. I think it's going to come down to a running game here. I think it's going to be, you see a lot of Saquon and you see a lot of McCaffrey. I think that's all this is probably going to be today. So you have a Giants with a little bit of a home advantage. Is that going to be enough? I'm not sure. I think the spread is probably about right on. I think it's going to be pretty close. So I'm going to take a look at the total here. And because I think it's going to be one of the ground and pounds, I don't think it's going to be a lot of fast scoring. It's going to be, well, do we think that we can, do more than field goals in this one? I don't know. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I'm going to go under. I'm going to take the 43.5.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, I think both teams can have success running the football, and I think that will result in a lot of clock. Sure, I mean, we've seen the great thing about what Saquon did was, bust one too. Remember when before he got hurt, he was busting them here and there too. So, but you have McCaffrey who, fantasy owners always end up with disappointment in the end, but when he's going good, right, there's nobody better that you want to have, and he should have success as well. So I think the clock just keeps eating up, Mindy. I've got a premium on the side, so we're going to have a 4th consensus play here. I think it goes under 43.5 in this one. The thing I liked about Daboll and that decision that you talked about, that everyone's talked about, is when, he was a man about it. He went and asked the defensive players to their face, do you mind if we go for 2? And, if you're a defense, hey, we can go stop them if you want, coach. Just kick it. They said, go for it. Go for it, man. They did. And they have the man to do it, too. So I think under, Mindy, I agree with you there. All right. Let's got another interesting game. Patriots are favorites here on the road 2.5 at the Steelers. The dynamics have changed over the years between these two teams, but still Patriots and Steelers.
Yeah, and it's the Patriots again that's struggling to move the ball a little bit, and then the Steelers defense that totally showed up against those Bengals. But the Steelers gave up a ton of offense after those nice defensive plays initially, with kind of some bad secondary play. They gave up 338 yards in the air. But I don't know if the Patriots are just a little bit of slow starters because they are notoriously bad against the Miami Dolphins, or if Jones is going to have a better than 213 yards passing day. And can the Patriots stop the run? I think the Steelers are going to run the ball here today. And I also think that the Patriots are just a little bit struggling here on offense. Not quite so sure how this one's going to play out, via the spread or side. But I'm still looking at the under here for this Steelers game.
Well, I agree. 5 plays we're going to have. Here's the thing, right? We know that we're still trying to see if Matt can do it. He's probably just a game manager at this point, I would think, right? I mean, he's not going to go out there and throw for massive yardage. Now, the storyline for Pittsburgh, is Watt. I mean, that's crucial, right? So that's unfortunate. I wish the total was still a little bit higher. We're down to 40.5 now. So that's why it's a free play here with me. So we can still, put it down as a consensus play. But I do like the under. But, at this point, I mean, everybody can make fun of Trubisky. He did guide him to the victory, right? I mean, yes, it was the crazy. Mindy, was it Cincinnati just being turnover prone in that game? Did Pittsburgh force the issue on those turnovers? What do you think?
I think Pittsburgh very much forced the issue there because with Watt, I mean, now that he's out, but Watt is like a one-man wrecking crew. You get pressure on that quarterback, and he's going to make mistakes. And I think that's what it comes down to. Plus, I always think Joe Burrow's a little bit gun shy after, that knee injury. I still think he, tends to not do well with pressure in his face.
Appendix. He didn't have a full training camp.
That too, right? And we've noticed that teams that didn't play much during, the preseason have also struggled, kind of were slow starters too. So that might be something that we need to look at today also to see those teams, like the Rams that didn't play their, teams in the preseason and kind of got off to a slow start. So we're going to take a look at that today too.
Yeah. And Watt's an impact player. And, maybe that's why we've even seen the Patriots go from a 1.5 point favorite to a 2.5 point favorite. I'll go under though. I agree though. I think that both teams, when you got Jones and Trubisky, look, if Jones is just a game manager, I like him. I like him as a game manager. You're the Patriots. I mean,
he's solid.
You're not going to develop into Tom Brady, but you can be the quarterback for a couple of years and just, get it done in this system because, not saying that it was a system quarterback. Tom Brady's a special dude, but, he kind of thrived within the Belichick situation, right? It's funny how Mr. Brady's Mr. Personality over the last couple of years, he was with Bill, we never heard a peep out of Tom. So,
right.
I kind of like that Tom still gets it done. I kind of wish his personality was still old Tom in a way, but his wife probably does too. So, okay, let's go under there, and we're going to have a 5-pack, but you got it free right here on the Free Picks Rapid Fire Rundown. If you miss our consensus plays, we're going to start packaging them up there on Tony's Picks. So if you missed the show, you can always grab them. Okay, let's continue on and move into the afternoon card now. I think this is more leisurely than ripping through the college card. But the Atlanta Falcons are going to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The champs are favored here by 10. They were actually a bigger favorite than this, and this total's dropped as well to 46.5.
I mean, I think this is going to be a fun game. Falcons surprised me a little bit with Mariota. Rams surprised me a little bit without, deciding not to show up at all versus those Bills. So I think the Rams, they're going to be able to, probably bounce back here today. I mean, if you take a look at the defense, they did keep Allen, under 300 yards passing. And then you got a guy like Mariota, probably, not going to go for more than 150 yards passing. They're going to try to move it around a little bit, I think. Maybe run with Cordarrelle, probably run with Mariota. So, but I do think this Rams offensive line is just really going to get to these Falcons here too. I think they're going to struggle on offense, and the Rams are not going to, I don't think, necessarily put up a ton of points in this one. I'm going to go towards the under here again, even though it looks like I lost a couple more points of value here over the week. I think it was at 48 or so. But still looking to the under here. I think it's going to be a defensive matchup. I think you're going to see Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, hook up for some touchdowns. But I'm not looking for too much out of the Falcons, as I think they're going to probably get destroyed by that defensive line today.
Yeah, I'm still worried about old sore arm Stafford. So there's some problems there. I think right now, and I think they were evident against the Bills. I think I've got Atlanta as one of my surprise teams. I'm not saying they can even make the playoffs. I just think they can. I think they have a lot of talent. There might be some other issues moving forward. I think Mariota. Look, we talk about Ryan. I mean, I probably would still prefer Ryan over Mariota,
right?
But he does provide a little bit of a different dynamic, obviously, that maybe fits the style of play that Atlanta is more interested in running right now, especially with Patterson. We saw you talked about him last week, and he made an impact. So I think Atlanta can, maybe hang in this game, but the Rams, for the talk about Kupp and Stafford, it's still a very good defensive team. And I think Atlanta, has some defensive players, and so I'm going to go under and agree with you again. I agree with you every single game just to make agree with. I agree to agree. So,
all right.
Well, let's go under in that one. All right, next up we've got the Seattle and San Francisco, and news starting to come in, Mindy. Looks like there could be some showers here, and I think that's why we've seen the total drop a little more. I think the total has dropped because of the way these teams are performing right now. With all due respect, great win, though, obviously, for Seattle. They just won the Super Bowl last week. So, and the Niners are favored here. I guess they've got Joe Montana back. They're favored by 9.5, and the total's 40.5.
Yeah, so, I was on the wrong side of both of these last week, and you were on the right side of both of these. I didn't see the Seahawks doing much, and they wound up taking advantage of turnovers and, making just the right plays and good decisions. And the same thing with the 49ers. They got to play in the monsoon in Chicago. I like the 49ers there in that one too, but could not muster any sort of offense, whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm looking for the 49ers here to rebound a little bit, and I'm looking for the Seahawks to regress from there. I don't know. I mean, he's still, Geno still only had 190 yards passing. So, it's one of those things, like, I think for him, almost everything has to go right for the Seahawks. But they are a scrappy team, and it's going to be the old Pete Carroll. They're going to have to dominate defensively and put up just enough offense to win these games. But Seattle, they're 1-7 against the spread after they had, less than 100 yards rushing in the previous game. Give me the 49ers, even though it's a big spread. I like them today at the -9.5.
Yeah, we're not going to agree here again, so I don't know if that's a good, our streak is over of agreeing.
Right. It's officially gone.
Well, I just can't get behind, especially if it's going to rain. I mean, okay, maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe I could change maybe I could look, San Francisco, they just had a lot of practice. They played, the rain's not going to be as bad as it was last week.
Right, it's not that.
Right? So maybe, but still, rain is rain. Everybody knows rain is worse than snow when it comes to, a football game. So,
right.
I haven't seen how serious it's going to be. I just know that every show that I've watched this morning has mentioned the weather here in this game. So I imagine there will be some showers involved. And for me, I just don't think San Francisco, look, they should have a good matchup here, but, do they have, the wherewithal to use Lance to get them to a double-digit victory? That just doesn't make any sense to me. So Seattle, Geno's the king of the point spread, I think, and they might just do enough, but they don't really have a lot of offense either right now. I mean, you mentioned the numbers, so look, the receiver he has got two good targets. They can definitely get something done, but the run game doesn't look like it has much. I think my guy Penny, it might be the guy. You still have all the old retreads that Seattle runs through there when he's out of the game, Homer and all those guys. So Walker. So not a good matchup for Geno at all. But if you could just get it to Lockett and Metcalf, they could probably find a way, one of those guys, to get a score. But I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them plus those points. I just got to have them keep within single digits. If it's going to be an ugly game, maybe it comes down to just some 20-17, 20-13,
Right.
something like that. That's going to get me home. So
it's going to be a fun challenge,
we'll
Ramon.
disagree on that one. All right. Next, I'm wearing my Bengals jersey. I have all the teams. I'm not a Bengal. Well, I am. I do like the Bengals. I've always liked them since they went to the stripes when I was a kid. But I also like the old Bengals helmet where it just said Bengals on the side too. But just wearing the Bengals. Every jersey that I own of other teams, Mindy, are players with last name of Scott.
Oh yeah,
Bernard Scott jersey here. Yeah, Bart
gotcha.
Scott. All kinds of. But in this one, so look, we know the storyline here with Dak being out. I'll just put it in context for you, and then you can dissect it. But so Dak, they're a 2.5-point favorite, I think, for the most part, especially after what happened last week with Cincinnati not looking great. Dak is out, so the Bengals become now a 7.5-point favorite. That's a 10-point swing right there, and the total dropped from 51 to 42. So I'll tell you what I think after I hear from you. But is that I don't want to say overreaction. I mean, is a quarterback worth 10 points? Is Dak worth 10 points? Why is that? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I want to say yes, but I'm not sure this outcome would be any different necessarily with Dak in play. I still think that they've been I mean, they're having troubles right now. CeeDee Lamb is their guy, and that is their only guy. I thought, Schultz was going to be more in play in their offensive schemes, and that just didn't happen. I mean, because it's one of those that, before the season started, they're like, oh, Schultz is going to, be better than Kelsey this year. And I just didn't see any sort of scheme that they had with him really being involved, unless they were waiting, for, something else in order to bring that out of that last game. So I just see the Cowboys just continue to struggle and struggle and struggle. And I don't really see much of, that two running back scheme also happening there with Elliott and Pollard. So, I don't know. I still think that this one probably, to me, would be a Bengals victory, no matter how I looked at it. But I just don't think the points are too much here for the Bengals. I like them at the -7.5. Cooper Rush, I don't know why they didn't sign him initially. Maybe it was salary cap issues. But he initially was cut and then brought back after Dak was injured, or right at the beginning of the season. Because I think the Cowboys started the season with only one quarterback on their team. I mean, being on the practice squad or whatever. So I don't know if that means that they didn't really think that much of Rush anyway, and they were going to maybe try, something else with, signing another veteran. I'm not so sure. But to me, the Cowboys just look really out of sort. I'm not sure what's going on with them. I'll take the Bengals.
Well, Rush, beat Cousins last year. That was a big game. And he did a nice job.
There was a lot of talk about him before that game, and there's no talk about him now before this one. So
no, well, I mean, and of course, you think of maybe a bounce back, right, for a team that turnovers are supposed to be random to a certain extent. I mean, if you have turnover issues, there could be, other underlying problems within the organization from practicing or whatever, but turnovers should balance out, they say, things like that. For Cincinnati, you wouldn't expect necessarily them to turn it over as many times as they did against Pittsburgh. So, well, look, Mindy, okay, so a 10-point swing on the spread over to Cincinnati, a 7.5-point favorite. Again, another one of those hooks that I'm really not in love with because I do want to take Cincinnati kind of, but I'm not real fond of laying a little bit more than a touchdown. I'm really not, really would rather just like, something less than that.
Teaser.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is an obvious teaser play, going through the 7 and the 3, I would guess. But look, the total to me is interesting because all of a sudden, if Dallas is not supposed to perform, right? So we know that the game would have been, if you got a total of 51 and a spread of 2 for Dallas, so you're looking at, something along the lines of 27-24. Right? Dallas wins 27-24. That's 2.5 and 51. Now all of a sudden you're at 42-7 the other way. But if Dallas isn't supposed to perform, does that mean Cincinnati is still going to perform and only get 27? That's what this is saying, right? Because now all of a sudden you're looking at us, take your 42 and you're looking here at something along the lines of, 27 to not even that, 24 to 17. 24 to 17. So the Bengals are going to score less because Dallas is going to score less? Doesn't make any sense to me. You would think if you give the ball to Joey Burrow a little more, and we still have a Cincinnati Bengals team that went to the Super Bowl out, I don't know. Was last week's performance against Pittsburgh so pitiful that all of a sudden you're going to lump them in with, the Dallas Cowboys team, all these other also-rans at this point? No. Cincinnati is still a Super Bowl contender. They'll work it out. I mean, they might not have some of the same fortunes that they did in getting to where they needed to be. But to me, it seems like Cincinnati's going to score more than 24 points in this game if Dallas isn't going to score. Now, maybe, Rush has a better game, and that bodes well for Dallas to get some scoring done. I like it over in this one. So that's the way I'm going to look at it. All right. Let's take a look now at the Texans and the Broncos. The Broncos, a big favorite here off that game against Seattle. So I guess odds makers weren't necessarily dissuaded by what happened in that game. Obviously, the Texans are coming to town. Plenty of issues with them, even though I'll take Davis Mills over half the quarterbacks we've probably talked about on this broadcast so far. But maybe he's still a little bit up against it because there's not a whole lot going on around him down there in Denver. They have built to this point. Look, that was going to be a tough game no matter what. That's why I went with Seattle in that game, and looking back at it now, you could see why and what happened. Denver's not going to have 12 penalties probably today, at home, so they'll probably be able to work it out. Whether they cover double digits, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. So again, I don't think that Denver will have the penalties at home. I also think Denver won't have the 2 turnovers in the red zone. I think this one's going to be, similar to last year. Denver won this one 38-24. Denver still has a pretty decent defense. I think we all can perhaps agree with that. I think they're going to be able to slow down any sort of, Texans running game that they have. So, I think the Texans will have to throw here, which may be to their advantage because I do like their quarterback there with David Mills. But I just think that, the Broncos here are going to really run the ball. I think they're going to move it around. I don't think the Broncos are going to have too hard of a time here with the Texans. I'm going to take the Broncos at -10.
I don't either. I want to give the Texans a chance. I kind of
root for them sometimes.
Yeah, my first instinct was to take the Texans plus 10 points because I do like Mills. I think that, but again, I think I prefer more right now at home because they need they're like one of those situations like needing Geno, right? Everything had to go right. Things have to go right for the Texans, and they have a nice home field situation. Their crowd is supportive. There's no doubt about it. And they've gotten some things done especially as an underdog, but going into okay, so I was wrong about the Seattle crowd. That was disheartening to me. That's why I made a point of it on Tony's show. I know he doesn't like me rambling, but for Russell Wilson, that's got to be so upsetting for someone. Like I said, I tweeted out, this guy, he's done so much for the community. He's gone out, spent, his own money, donations, charity, started schools, all this stuff, and then you boo him. Look, I know I'm not saying he's not
I
going to
still
get
feel
booed. That's not the
betrayed.
issue. He's going to get extra support from the crowd today. They're going to be. It's Denver. This is already Denver. It's opening the game of the season, opening home game. The optimism's high. They got Russell Wilson. We've all had a great. We've been Denver for a few years. We haven't had a quarterback. So today's the day. They'll probably smash them. Maybe Houston will hang in there a little while. Maybe by even the first half, they'll hang in there because I think that, again, I like them as a team because they don't have stars, but they still get something done. So take Denver. Let's lay the points and let's put it down as a consensus play.
All right, here we go. Broncos -10 consensus.
And the Cardinals are going to take on the Raiders. This spread has gone up. The Raiders were 3.5. They're now 5.5. And this total, it is the highest on the board. 51.5. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Raiders, they're 4-1 against the spread, the last 5 versus the Cardinals. Cardinals 1-6 in last 7 against the spread. Cardinals really need to improve their defense here. I don't really think they have much of an identity right now other than, one man Kyler Murray show kind of thing. I think they need to really get things going with Edmonds, stuff like that. But I just think the Raiders here are just going to be, too strong with Adams and Waller. And I just think that they're just going to be a lot more aggressive today. So I was wrong on the total last time with the Chiefs and the Cardinals. I thought that one would go over. So the Cardinals surprised me a little bit. But I still think the Raiders have this really dominant offense. And I think they are able to score quickly with the Renfro and the Adams and the Wallers. I'm still going to look to the over here in this one. I'm going to go ahead and say the Cardinals are going to, put more than, the 14, 17 points up on the board here today. Just a little bit of practice, a little bit more rhythm. I think the Raiders can still, probably put up 28, 35 pretty easy here in this one.
Well, we're got a disagreement here. This ain't going to make the consensus plays. I'm going to try to I don't know if I'm, thinking Arizona can hang in there. I mean, look, this spread has gone up kind of for a reason. I think it's based on what we saw with Arizona more than the game with the Raiders, who were, they were in that game with the Chargers. I think most of the way Chargers kind of pulled away, and Arizona, they did play one of the best teams, in the league. Certainly, they were overwhelmed in that game. They're not playing one of the best teams in the league right now. I mean, okay, give the Raiders. Even like I said, even Mark Davis can't screw up this team. They've got a few things going for them, but to me, I know how to play the Raiders. I just hope this goofy Arizona Cardinals coaching staff knows what to do. I mean, Derek Carr does not run. He stands there, right? He's just a standing guy in the pocket. He barely runs. When he runs, it's like a big deal because he can't really, he looks like he can run, but he's just not efficient on running. I don't think he wants to run. You're going to get whacked some of the time. So if Arizona can just stay back, put a pass rush on, maybe double Adams, and stay deep in the secondary, slow those drives down. I mean, the Raiders have the weapons. They can pick them apart. They can move it down the field, but I don't see the explosiveness there to get to 41. So that's why I'm going to take 51. So that's why I'm going to take under. And of course, we know that Murray's kind of a control back anyways with his offense. And if the Cardinals know what's good for them, they'll run with Connor. They'll try to more running with Connor. That's what I would be doing. Their receivers aren't too special right now, other than Brown maybe. But I like under in this one, Mindy. We're in disagreement on that one.
Then we had someone here that commented with
yes, I'm sorry. Let me check what we got. Okay, and by the way, Minnie, I know you saw it. Thank you to everyone, and we want to see your comments. So comment more. But we had passed 50 live viewers there. That's our record. We're watching this stuff, and we're excited that you've joined us on Sunday. There are other shows starting up out there all over. So happy that you're here still with us, and let's get continuing on with the last game of the night, and we're going to Monday Night Football. Well, Rodgers, he owns the Bears, so I don't know if you can make a case for either of these two teams, Mindy, in this situation. You got another double-digit game, but you have, division rivals, but, one where really Rodgers not only owns them, but he kind of makes fun of them. He's a real, he's the anti-Brady, right? You believe what comes out of his mouth, even though he might be I don't know. I don't know if he's a jerk or he's just cocky or whatever. I like him half the time. Sometimes I don't, but I'll take him as my quarterback.
Well, heck yeah, you would. Yeah, but it's just going to be are the Packers going to be able to, score some points? Are they going to be able to cover this -10 spread with the Bears team that finally thinks that they could perhaps win some games? I think they're feeling pretty pumped now about getting that home opener win, even though it was kind of a mess. They had nothing going on until like the fourth quarter. But still, I mean, this is going to be a fun game. As you said, the Packers usually beat up on the Bears. Mr. Rodgers there, he's 22-5 versus those Bears. The Packers are definitely more talented. So it's going to be, can the Bears then contain a run? I look for Jones and Dillon to just take this game over here pretty much. I think, again, it's going to be a ground and pound. Not sure if the Bears can do much offensively. Going to go under the total, the 41.5 here in this one.
It's going to be tough for those guys to run, but I think it's the right strategy. I don't know if it's the right defense. So I think the Bears do have some, again, division game. I like division game, and especially on a Sunday night. Look, we've lost some value here, so I can see you giving it out as a free play on the under. I'm going to agree with you. I agree with you. I think it'll be tough. I think it'll be even tough for Rodgers, even at home. They'll be able to get some things done. I would think they might be able to even get this number because I'm not sure. The Bears. I like Fields. I always have, but I'm just not sure right now there's enough around him going on.
He has to, not get sacked so many times too, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And again, these receivers, they don't look like anything special right now. So Montgomery doesn't have what he had, I don't think. So the Bears got some issues. There's no doubt about that. But I think that in this type of game, it does seem like, even though you talked about that dominance, I don't know, it just seems like sometimes it's tough for them to start pulling away until the end. And then sometimes they do get it done in the end as far as even covering the spread against these guys. So I'll go under as well. Let's have a consensus play there on the night game.
All right. We got him.
Yep.
So you want me to recap our consensus here real fast?
Okay. If you got them all down, I know that we have a lot, right? There's
So the early games, we got the Lions -1, over Colts and Jags, under Saints and Bucks. Oh, then I put under 43 and I didn't write down the team. That was nice. And then under Steelers Patriots. And then for the later games,
Carolina and the Giants.
Carolina Giants. All right.
Wow.
And then for the late slate, we got the under 46.5 for the Rams Falcons, Broncos -10, Bears Packers under. Sounds like winners to me. That's all I know.
Okay. Well, we had some college consensus. I thought we definitely hit a few of them, at least.
Well, I mean,
4 or 5.
Yeah, well, we just missed with Syracuse, right? And that was something weird, that return pick 6. That was, I don't know, pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, we should have probably went 3-0 in that first slate, so we just missed there. So we had a really good day, I thought, for college football.
All right, and thank you for your comments again. We're just really stoked that you guys have given us all these viewers today that you're
Yeah,
out
and then
there.
Justin, it was nice that he came back too. He said thanks for the picks on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. So what was that? Was that our football picks, our baseball picks?
All of them. That's what we give you, free picks. Free picks rapid fire, and we're going to come at you. I got some baseball mini. I'll be look at this card, but I think we have a little more time at least to see who's pitching. And I have made some plays. I'll tell you one game I have not made a play on, and let's see if the line's even out yet. I didn't know if they had come out with a line on this one yet. So I kind of took a guess there with the White Sox and Detroit, Kopech and Hutchison. I'm not seeing a line yet. I did see some 165s, I thought, out there.
Yeah, I mean, Hutchinson's just pretty bad. What, 2-8? I mean, he's just not real good. So, but I haven't seen anything either, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm starting to see it now coming out 165, 160, 172. Most of the totals are 8, but there is an 8.5 at one of the major online books, U.S. based, as Tony might call it. So I have not. I'm going to have to take a pass on this one just because I was preparing for the show. Here's just maybe Justin can get us a pick. Justin, who do you like in the White Sox in Detroit? Are you asking for a baseball?
No,
pick?
he was the one on Wednesday. He said he liked our baseball picks from Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got picks on every other game, Mindy, but on this one, I'm going to have to, I think, take a pass. I have some notes here I put in. I'm not sure, though, I'm going to be able to get a play out of this right away, given what like I said, by the time I was preparing for the show, yeah, okay, maybe I might end up with Detroit at home, according to my ratings with this one with Hutchison. So I think it's close. I can't do it. I can't do it. My lean. I got a lean. I'm one of those lean guys. Gun to your head. White Sox, Detroit. I'll take the gun. Okay. Let's take a look at the rest of the games. I got plays, I think, in the rest of them. Texas and Otto is going to go up against Tampa Bay with Springs. We got Springs here, big $2 favorite. Look out for some of these totals, Mindy, on Sunday. I think sometimes they jack some of these up because everyone wants to throw them in moneyline parlays with football teams, and
Right.
bookmakers end up with a lot of action on these big favorites. I don't know if some of them are worth, $3 and $4.
No kidding. Right. I mean, Springs is good and Otto's pretty bad, but we've seen so much happen here over the last month with, not even being able to cover run lines. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I think the move has come in a little bit on Otto here. So yeah, for me, I'm going to go ahead and take Otto on the run line. I'll take Texas plus a 1.5 against Tampa Bay. Kansas City and Bubich. This one beat us yesterday, huh, Mindy?
Yeah, who
Kansas
would
City
have thought
and
that these
Bubich
Royals
and Boston.
would have scored 9 runs when the total's 8.5? Never saw that one coming, must say.
Well, maybe they'll have another good game here. Look, I think there's value on the over, though, too. I don't mind Kansas City at this price, but I also kind of like this over now that it's down to 9.5. Here's Justin. Thank you, Justin. I'm going to write that down. Oh gosh, Detroit first half, White Sox.
So he's going first 5 to Detroit.
I'm not big on that, Lydia. With all due respect to Justin, I'm not big on doing that type of betting, but that is an extreme handicap, and I do appreciate it very much. I'll tell you that. Anyways, Mindy, Kansas City and Boston, I'm kind of torn. I kind of like side and total here, but maybe I can find a way to get one of them into a premium. So why don't I take Kansas City here? Plus, I'm going to take them on the run line. I'm going to take them on the run line again. Give me 2 run lines. Take these 2 big dogs on the run line so far.
Right.
How's that on a Sunday? I'll just take run lines and piss everybody off. Can I say that? All right.
I think you can. It's official.
Washington Alcantara. Sandy's definitely lost a little bit towards the end of the season here. He's going up against my guy, Anibal Sanchez. I'm always all about Anibal because no one else is. So
I know, but minus 180, that seems a little steep for me.
Yeah, I think it was actually higher. I think the move is. I think there's a severe. I think there's been some steam, if you will, on the dog. So I don't know. I kind of want to take it. I'm going to take Annabelle here. I'm going to take, but I'm going to take him on the run line. I'm going to take 3 run lines in a row.
I like it.
We'll probably get fired after this show. Taking so many run lines here on this free picks rapid fire. But anybody who knows, on here, I mean, I'll really take.
But our run line paid off yesterday on game 2 of the Reds versus Cardinals.
Well, and like I said, I just think these lines are out of whack, but I don't want to take a bunch of money lines on a day when I'm loaded up on NFL football.
Right.
So I want some action here. I'm going to be watching a couple baseball games. So I'm giving some run lines here, I think. I might do it again here. There's another 250 favorite now. It's Spencer Strider. I'll give you that. But Falter, I don't know. Falter's been all right. I mean, he's been great actually. But Strider, we know he's been great. But we got another 250 favorite here against a decent Phillies team.
Yeah, at least I could put up some runs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, look, we all love Strider. We want to put him in a 7-teamer today, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna take Philadelphia, and I'm gonna take them at plus 2.5 at minus 170. How's that? I don't care.
Right.
I'm taking 2.5 runs. Because this is a really tough card, actually, with these big favorites. That's what it comes down to,
right?
And especially when you can't, I mean, look, I've looked at every game for a few minutes for sure, and I want to try to pick some winners here, and on a Sunday, and I'm not totally confident with a lot of these. So Baltimore here with Kramer and Toronto and Manoa. Yeah, well, here's another $2 favorite. This total's dropped. I'm not sure why. I mean, I know Manoa. Okay, he's at home. I get it, but I don't know. I mean, these guys might do some hitting. Toronto's been looking great, right? So I don't know. I'm gonna take. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a run line. Take a run line with Baltimore plus a 1.5.
All right, I like it.
I'm sorry.
No, I like that. Baltimore wins on the run line. They're the most in Major League Baseball.
Minnesota is going to take on Cleveland.
That was a wild one last night. Where'd it go? 15 innings?
Is that right?
Yeah. Cleveland won at the end, 15 innings.
I might have passed out finally after all that by the end of the night when San Diego State was getting beat, and our Fresno play was going down. And I looked like I had Eastern Michigan in the bag. I was done for after yesterday. So with Minnesota and Cleveland here, with Ryan going up against Morris, I do want to say, Mindy, I want to go back one step as I looked at the odds here. I'm going to touch on Minnesota, Cleveland in just a moment. There is a pitching change for Chicago. I mentioned Kopech in there. It's going to be Velasquez pitching for the White Sox, and the price is still pretty high. So I'm actually going to give out a play if I can, just to mention that. I'm not going to change the graphic. Oh, I should because then Tony might chop it up or something. So we got. This is going to be Velasquez. Vince Velasquez, of course, the former Phillies pitcher. He is pitching now in this game. It looks like the price is going to be about $155. That's too high, so I'm going to take Detroit on the run line.
Okay.
In that one, so we give out a play there. So I'll get back here to. Did I pop up Velasquez there in Hutchison?
No, there it goes.
Okay, with Chicago and Detroit, I'm going to take Detroit on the run line plus a 1.5. All right. Continuing on now with Minnesota and Cleveland with Ryan and Morris in this one. So maybe Ryan is a more experienced pitcher. That's why he might be a slight favorite here. Obviously, a pretty decent ball game. This total has dropped to 8 under. And for me, I kind of I don't know. This total's kind of moved all over the place a little bit. I like the under, I think, in this game. I think it's too important of a game. I think the pitching will be on. I think with Ryan, he can have a strong outing. I'm seeing some movement here. I'm showing actually the move is definitely on Minnesota. I don't mind that, but at a pick 'em, I'm not so sure. So for me, I'm going to end up going under in this one. 9 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams in Cleveland have gone under. So I will go under. All right, here's another goofball line with DeGrom and Oviedo for Pittsburgh. Boy, I actually see. Here's one where I could actually get me like I don't want to lay 425, Mindy, but I don't know if you got any of your numbers there, but I actually think this might be the right price. Actually, considering right now, I might consider. I'm going to go under 6.5. I think that'll be my free play. But I would be willing to take DeGrom. Now I don't want to lay. I'd probably lay a run and a half or more so, or maybe even 2.5. What's 2.5? Minus $1.20 if you lay 2.5. So I don't know, but I'll go under for the free play. That's what I'll do. But I don't know. I kind of like the Mets here to crush, and I like to take these. I'm on these run lines, obviously, but I'll take the under. All right, Cole is going to go up against Alexander here with this crazy series, the Yankees and the Brewers. This line's getting a little out of control too, considering the way this series is played out.
They're always like, "Can we trust Cole?" That's
no, I don't
thing,
think
right?
we. I mean, look, I mean, here's another one where maybe the football bettor is going to put on Cole because they see him pitching. I'm going to take Milwaukee on the run line plus a run and a half. That's what I'm going to do. Houston, here's another one. I can't.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, all these are just. I'm fading every one of these today for sure. My play here is going to be Oakland plus 2.5 minus $1.25. Seems like I've gotten beaten this series already, taking multiple runs. I think I lost to one, getting 2.5, 6-3 or something like that. But I'll come back at it because I don't know. Probably should be 250. Is a professional baseball game, right?
Right.
I'm gonna do it again with Cincinnati and St. Louis. We'll just see how I do. I mean, I'm not.
It's a crazy card.
Blindly. I just think all these prices are just, 25 cents to 50 cents too high, and I don't want to take these underdog money lines right now on a Sunday. I'm going to take Cincinnati plus 2.5 minus $1.50 or so here with Sessa against Montgomery. We know Montgomery's been, outstanding. There's no doubt about that. He's been really pretty solid of late. But again, just going to be price play here. Take Cincinnati plus 2.5. All right. Colorado is going to take on the Cubs. I think I've got a normal play here.
That's our first one.
Yeah, no run line. Right. So I'm acting rationally. Just because I'm rattling off all these run lines doesn't mean I've lost my mind. We might be losing viewers because we've moved on to baseball. But, I'm going to take the Cubs here against Colorado minus $1.30 with Assad. Really I like what I see in Assad, and they've shown some life. These two teams are toast as a free play. Give me the Cubs. Seattle against the Angels in this one with Gonzalez going up against Detmers. This was actually probably one of the better games on the board, it looks like to me. Seattle obviously, playing for their position right now, and they're a slight favorite on the road against the Angels with Detmer. And I will take Seattle, I think, Mindy. I think they can, I'm going to take them with Gonzalez here on the road. I think that, could be some offense here. Watch out. All right. San Diego, don't trust them, but Darvish certainly was good last time. But again, it seems like he gets up. He should get up for the games because these are important right now for San Diego. I'm going to go over, I think, though, in this game. Padres, they're doing a little, they're so hot and cold. They really, they've had some games where they've exploded for some runs, but their real problem is getting any offense together. But I think against Nelson they can. So I'll go over as the free play with Padres and Arizona. Then we got the late game
That's
here.
fun.
Yep. Dodgers and Haney going up against the Giants and Cobb. Now, this isn't necessarily an outrageous price because for the Dodgers, I mean, this might be considered quite reasonable. But, going up against Cobb, certainly. And I think Haney, he definitely has regressed dramatically, and Cobb has been pretty solid, pretty darn solid of late. So I'm going to take Cobb. I'm going to take San Francisco on the run line,
I
plus
like
a
that.
1.5. And so got to run a lot
Cobb's
of run
been good.
lines, got a lot of runs.
1.47 ERA. He's been good.
Oh, yeah. Real good, real solid. Haney has good numbers this season, but he's kind of blown up over the last several starts. So, all right. We're going to take care of one more important game, Mindy. And
the WNBA.
Yeah. Look, we got it wrong last time. I mean, I got it right. I had a premium on Connecticut. I think you might have. Or, no, I was like, man, Mindy, I thought we were on board.
I was going to play it, and I chickened out right at the end, right?
And so, but Connecticut better be careful. They think they can go through the same procedure. I think that caught by Las Vegas by surprise. And yes, so they ended up with a blowout. The Vegas did kind of close the gap. They got it within single digits, and then it just faded away. But I think they should be careful if they wanted to engage in the same strategy. Unfortunately, I think that's what they're going to do. And even though we cashed all those unders today, I think Connecticut's going to hope for a repeat performance. They might not get the result that they desire or achieved last game by using that same strategy. This is what concerns me for Connecticut, but I will take the over in this game. I think we're going to go back to more of an upturn. I know it's this is important. I know it's 2-1. The Aces can wrap it up. We saw all the defense throughout the last several games in both series and in this series. But I think Connecticut might have been so enamored with what they did last game, that they might think they can do it again, especially in the front court with Thomas and Jones. And I think that worries me. I think Las Vegas's front court could also go off today. So I'm going to take the over. Do you have any? Is this the last game of the WNBA season?
I'm not so sure it is.
Okay.
You don't
want to tip your hand if you got something going, but
no, I mean, I kind of like the Sun here just because of trends on the Aces. When they get themselves
they're the worst. They don't
position.
Yeah.
The Aces, they're 3-7 in the last 10 at Connecticut. They're 1-5 in their last game following a loss.
The road, they're crummy.
Yep, they're 1-8 in WNBA championship games. I mean,
they laid a lot of numbers in some of those games, and they are, this is almost a pick 'em. I will say that, but I get it.
Yeah, I think I would kind of tend to lean towards the Sun. I had it as a pick, basically. I'll take the 1. Sun in 8-2 last 10 following a win as well. So, it's kind of like me personally. I'm kind of rooting for the Aces. But I think the Sun is going to be able to tie it up, and then I think the Aces will probably take it at home.
Yeah, I like the Aces too as far as a team is concerned. I don't know, I've kind of gravitated towards them, and I don't know if you saw this tweet. I made a tweet if you could follow me, if you want to follow me on Twitter. Of course, you get free picks from Mindy and I on our Tony's Picks accounts every day, but I just kind of tweet some other stuff, some comments, and there's our Twitter. Some of the Twitters get picks over there at Tony's Picks Mindy, or you can follow her at her other handle as well. But I don't know, did you see, Mindy, the post game after the Aces swept the first 2 games with Popovich in the locker room with Becky Hammond, and he had his arm around her. He said, praising her as a coach, and of course we know that she was the highest level assistant ever in NBA history.
Yep, you were saying that she may be groomed.
I believe she will. I believe she will be the first female head coach. I believe she will succeed Pop as the head coach one day. Because I think he has so much influence on that organization. Obviously, he's a man who, is a very progressive social agenda. I would say progressive, modern, right? I mean, a realistic social agenda. I mean, this is, look, I know that I don't want to get left or right or red or blue here, but I mean, to me, Pop represents, especially in a league, that is 75% African American, or whatever it is, greater than that. Pop represents what he stands for, and he's not BSing when he goes off on these talking about what he believes in and things like that. So I just think for Hammond, given her success as a coach, if she could win 1 or 2 or 3, Pop's still around. But not for much longer. I would think he might retire at a reasonable age. He's a reasonable man, but looks like he still enjoys what he's doing. And I'm glad he's softened up over the years because we found out the kind of guy that he is, right? And I like Pop, and I think that he would push for that. And I think it seems very reasonable, and I think players would respond positively, especially if she were to come in with 10 years of NBA assistant experience or whatever it was. I'm sure it was close to that, if not more than that, and maybe some titles with WNBA team. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Have a great Sunday. Don't forget our website, Tony'sPicks.com. We'll get out of here. Minnie and I got to talk about it. Pick up our package for today if you would. Why not grab our 2-for-1 capper promotion if you like, Mindy and I. Thank you to all the viewers. I know a lot of you took off after football, but those of you stuck around, thank you. If you want to support us, maybe you could grab our 3-day all sports pass for $150. You'll probably get about 50 picks or so in 3 days. Yeah. Especially Mindy. Look at yesterday. I'm trying to sell some picks here myself, but how would you like to have gotten Mindy's picks yesterday? 3-day, whatever. She's had a good weekend, that's for sure already with Friday as well. But 14-7-1. We see Nick starting to close the gap. He must have knocked out some winners already today, this morning. There's already the card's already gone off. I mean, I got games on here right now from the other leagues. England obviously taking the time off for another day, but Nick obviously heating up. And so grab a package with Minnie and I if you want, and we'd really, really appreciate that. We both have I don't know, Mindy, I've got eight plays, I think, already on the NFL card. So
so I think I'm going to be close to that as well.
Yeah.
Because again, I put my picks out last night, and then I was waiting for some live movement this morning before I put up the rest.
Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. And don't forget, all of our packages are guaranteed to show a profit, or you're going to get money back to your Tony's account. To, with all due respect, play again with it. Get some more picks from us. But again, if it's a tough day, just look at the record, see who's hot. We got some cappers like Mindy hit yesterday, 67% over the weekend. Probably over 60% for the weekend. I think Friday was a winner as well. So thanks, Mindy. Great job. Catch you tomorrow. We'll preview Monday Night Football and the baseball card as well.
All right, let's do it.
For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.